Hello, my name is Bob Willis and welcome to SMTconnect. We're here with Winnie TV to look at technology, look at innovation, and Joe is now going to explain, first of all, who he is and do an introduction, and also your background and your interest at this moment in time.
Great. Well, thank you, Bob. Thank you for the opportunity to be here today. My name is Joe Hertline. I'm a product manager at Indium Corporation. And the big focus I have is really around what we call engineered solder materials or preform technologies used in power electronics. So this is a growing area that we've seen over the past few years as power electronics have evolved, power densities increase, you need more higher reliability, higher performing materials. And so I have had a unique opportunity to focus on that in my role.
I mean, the nice thing about the way in which we can use preforms, you can get more consistency in the joining process, which is something that perhaps has been missing over the years. So I guess that has given you the advantage of giving better performance to the customer as well.
That's exactly right. The consistency is really important, especially when we're talking about scaling up manufacturing very quickly, having repeatable yields, having predictable performance. It's very important. At the same time, from a performance standpoint, having that consistent solder volume delivers the best performance. So those are two reasons why it's been really a growing area for us.
And I guess that with preform manufacture, there's probably more flexibility to deal with weird and wonderful materials as well. Whereas if you're trying to produce reels of wire as an example, you can't do that with all the different range of materials.
That's exactly right. So that's really why we have the term engineered solder materials, because we have the opportunity to be flexible, to customize and meet the precise needs of a given application. And then, of course, as we identify, we can also use some of those technologies in manufacturing to introduce different alloy technologies or even completely new variants of products in that case.
It's interesting, I've actually still got, I think, in my office, one of the beautiful display boxes of all the little preforms, not the high-end stuff, but all the little, just an amazing selection that the company has produced over the years. So, what are you seeing specifically at the show that looks like an opportunity for, because obviously there is another show next door, which is basically your market, as opposed to just the assembly market. So what are you seeing which is interesting you most?
Yes, so I think one of the key things, we've been very much engaged in a lot of the preform applications, let's say within within packaging, within power module packaging. And a lot of customers have been successful with using preforms for a die attach or substrates to attach in that case. But now as we see use cases evolving, automotive-driven mission profiles, looking for a longer range, reduced charging times, longer life cycles, we're seeing those requirements push the thermal demands on the system a lot higher. So traditionally, thermal interface materials have been used. Organic-based thermal interface materials have been the conventional method, and those have been effective at the past generation of use cases, but the new use cases are just too demanding. We need much better heat dissipation. So this is what I'm hearing really a lot of the discussions at this particular expo has been a demand for better thermal efficiency, and that's really opening up some discussions around can we leverage solder preforms or other higher performing thermal interface materials in these applications.
But how difficult do you find it getting to the right people in a company? Now, traditionally, obviously, Indium and other solder manufacturers talk to process engineers. How difficult is it getting to the designers, which are those are really the key people you've got to be talking to?
That's a great point, because I think it's certainly getting to the right design decision makers, but also we're seeing there's a lot more involvement, not just at the device manufacturer, but up in the higher levels in the supply chain. So even the integrators on the overall inverter systems, or even the vehicle manufacturers, are a lot more involved in a lot of the decisions on how to bring that together. So the key thing is kind of understanding the stakeholders, understanding the manufacturing model, and trying to get to the right committee of individuals that are making those decisions.
And I mean, traditionally, preforms have always been more expensive, and you can't really compare alloy cost with engineered materials, but it's something I'm sure that comes up quite often. So, how do you deal with that particular question with a customer?
Yeah, I think ultimately looking at the discrete material costs is not the best way to go about it, in my opinion. You really need to kind of take a look at the cost of ownership, and that includes what is the process to manufacture, and what's the life cycle expectations. If you're in a place where you have a certain material solution that's low cost, but it only survives for 1 year, how does that compare to something that may be a little higher upfront cost but lasts for 10 years? Those are the types of things that are important to factor in. So, cost of ownership from start of manufacturing through its life is the best way to measure that. And I think in most, really in most cases, we're going to find that the higher performing materials may be more costly up front, but at the end of the day have the lower cost of ownership.
Yeah. Okay, Joe. Well, thank you very much for joining us. It's a pleasure to meet you. I wish you the best of success during the show, and hopefully there's lots more customers to talk to.
Yes, enjoy the rest of the show. Thank you very much.